really exciting to see the pieces come together. The team is on a great glide path for our landing on May 17th, 2018. The exhibit is coming along very, very well. We've had some of the sections, the designs are approved, fabrication is going on. And what's really remarkable to see these pieces, it's almost like a puzzle where you start adding one piece and then another piece and you begin to see what it's going to look like. That's the stage that we're at now. There's some really great progress, some exciting things with the exhibit, some elements that we've never had before in the museum, and that's appropriate for something as significant as the Memphis Belle. And then on the restoration side, we have such brilliant staff in restoration. They are so careful about how they're doing their work, attention to detail, and with the painting of the aircraft in process, we're seeing the same kind of picture. The Memphis Belle has always been here since 2005 in restoration, and it was completely stripped. We knew it was the Memphis Belle, but a bare metal B-17, intellectually we knew it was the Memphis Belle, but it was kind of hard to see it. It's at a point now where it's looking like the Memphis Belle. Enough of the paint has been put on the aircraft, and some markings that looks like the Memphis Belle. I think that's really exciting for the whole team to see. Now, as far as painting the Memphis Belle, there are really only two options. So in the 1980s, the Memphis Belle went through restoration work in Memphis, and at that time, all of the original paint, markings, nose art was completely stripped off the aircraft. And then they repainted it to appear as it did while the Memphis Belle was on the war box. When the aircraft came to the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in 2005, we elected to strip all of that restoration paint off, partly so that our restoration staff could fully assess any corrosion issues that were on the aircraft. They also did the same thing to the interior and to assess the corrosion. So we really only had two good options about how the Memphis Belle would be painted. Either as it appeared about or shortly after the 25th mission, so this would be mid to late May 1943, or how it appeared in June and the following months when it was on the war bond tour. And there really are some significant differences in the markings between the two. Now in the public mind, the common perception of the Memphis Belle is how it appeared when it was on the war bond. So there are a lot of extra markings on the aircraft, and that includes a row of swastikas underneath the yellow bombs on the nose. There are crew names in several of the positions. There's a list of missions on the left-hand side of the tail, and a lot of other extra markings. And in addition to these extra markings, there are also hundreds, if not thousands, of individual names that were drawn on in crayon, marker, and in some cases they were actually carved into the skin of the aircraft. So this is an important part of the history of the Memphis Belle. In the case of the appearance of the Memphis Belle in mid-May, mid to late May 1943, that's how the aircraft appeared when it was still in the 91st Bomb Group and it was still a combat aircraft. And so actually a lot of these markings that we're used to seeing in artwork, illustrations, models, and in photos, because of course there are a lot of photos taken in the war bond tour, that's really our perception of how the Memphis Belle looked. So in looking at which of the two options we wanted to take, some of our considerations were things like, can we make it accurate? Can we accurately represent the aircraft to a day or to a week? Because we want to pick a point in time. We don't want to have a combination of markings from May and July and different time periods, because that didn't exist. So that was one consideration. Another consideration was, what is the most important time period for this object? And in the end, we decided to go with the markings as it appeared shortly after the crew finished their 25th mission. And those considerations of accuracy and importance to the object were really primary in our decision. One of our sources of information, which has been truly remarkable, is the Memphis Belle movie outtakes. And in more than 60 restorations I've personally worked on, I have never had access to this kind of visual evidence of an aircraft. It's truly remarkable. And these outtakes were the clippings from the Memphis Belle movie in 1944. William Wyler and his team of cameramen shot 11 and a half hours of footage. did it at risk of their lives. In fact, one of the cameramen was killed on a filming mission. But what they have left us, and which the National Archives preserved, and from which we have a copy, is this visual record of the Memphis Belle. How it appeared as early as January of 1943, just a few months into its tour, all the way up to and past the completion of the 25th mission into July and August of 1943 on the war bond tour. So we have an outstanding record of how the aircraft looked. And the Memphis Belle, from May 17th till late May, the only markings that were added on were to complete the row of bombs so that it had 25 bombs. We know this for a fact because there's extensive coverage of the Memphis Belle during the King and Queen's visit on the 26th of May, 1943, so about a week and a half after the crew finished their 25th mission. And there's excellent coverage in color of the entire aircraft. And so we know for a fact that the markings were fairly sparse into late May. Some of the markings that are on the aircraft as of mid to late May include the words Memphis Belle. They include the famous nose art, a row of 25 bombs representing each of the missions, and there are some yellow and red stars above the bombs, and those represent times when the Belle was in the formation of the attack. There are also some swastikas around the aircraft. There's one at Layton's position on the left, the navigator. There's one at Quinlan's position in the tail. And these swastikas represent confirmed victories. And we know that because we've gone down to the National Archives and looked at the combat records of the first bomb. And we've looked at the actual confirmed victories that the gunners claimed. Now, there were some other claims that were stand probable or damage, but these swastikas that were on the aircraft when it was flying in combat shortly after represent confirmed victories. There's also the name Irene underneath the window of the radio operator Hansen, the name Virginia on the right-hand side of the base position. So there are some very interesting markings on the Memphis Belle, and the most important ones, the nose art, the name Memphis Belle, the bombs, and so on and so forth, were on the aircraft. The publicity markings, as we've come to call them, came in very late May or early June, and it was about the time that the Memphis Belle was transferred out of the 91st Bomb Group. And then it really became a publicity effort for the war bond tour. So when we look at the publicity markings, that's a very important part of the history of the aircraft, and that's something we want to make sure that the public is aware of. But when we look at how are we going to represent the artifact, what is the most important time period, and how are we able to make it accurate? So another example of the level of detail that our restoration staff is going to is the insignia on the left-hand side of the fuselage. And they noticed that the national insignia on the left-hand side of the fuselage is crooked. And when you look at it closely and you count rivets, it's very clearly crooked. I hadn't noticed it myself, but one of the restoration staff members pointed that out and said, you know, that insignia is crooked. And by golly, it is. You can clearly see it in the film. So that is replicated on the Memphis Belle. So some of those little details, some of the swastikas that were painted on the aircraft were not symmetrical. They were rather crudely painted on. That will be replicated. So there'll be a lot of little details that might not be immediately noticeable, but those will be on the aircraft when it's finished. Trying to match olive drab, there's something about that particular color that's very, very difficult to get to a precise measurement. And I can assure you that the restoration staff, myself, the company that's working, and other members in the research division, we spent countless hours trying to get those shades correct. And we're all very, very pleased with the result that we have. This is a national treasure. We need to make sure that it is accurate. Very clearly stated, the Memphis Belle was not the first heavy bomber to finish 25 missions. Period. There were actually a handful of aircraft that finished 25 combat missions. What's important about the Belle is that it is the symbol of these heavy bombers. Now, the Memphis Belle was a first probably the most significant date of the Memphis Belle is May 17, 1943. And that was the day that we finished our 25th mission. Now there's a caveat to that. That 25th mission for the crew was actually the 24th mission for the aircraft. And the Memphis Belle flew 2 days later on May 19, 1943 with an entirely different crew. So there's a caveat to the May 17 date, but the May 17 date is what was celebrated by the War Department. It is in all the literature, and it's for that reason that we are going to have the rollout of the Memphis Belle on May 17, 2018, 75 years to the day.